So, good morning, my students. How are you all doing today? I hope you're all fine and you are welcome to my Photoshop class. So, for those of you who attended my class last week, um, I did an introduction to Photoshop where I defined Photoshop, how it started, the function of Photoshop, why it was made, what people use it for, and what it has finally come down to these days. So without wasting much of our time, let me open Photoshop here. Just like I told you all the other time, I have so many work program now that won't um, permit me to close down the whole software. So you can see how I open the software from the beginning. So I will just have to take it to the home page and do necessary explanation to it. So let's get on to the topic. Just like I said last time, I said Photoshop is a software, is a photo editing software made in the 80s. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's in the 80s or the 90s. So when this software was actually made, it was made to edit basic photos, probably taken by photographers then, use it to enhance photo, you edit them and you do some basic manipulation on it. But as time goes on, a lot of users started doing incredible things with Photoshop, and this made the developers of Photoshop to increase the um, uh, the function of Photoshop in such a way that people can do a lot of things with it. Like today, people design website on Photoshop, people do UI UX design on Photoshop, people do digital painting on Photoshop, people do illustration, people do so many things. In fact, some 3D designs are achieved on Photoshop. So that's what Photoshop has actually come down to these days. And for Photoshop works with, or let's say Photoshop is a raster-based software, or we can call it pixels. So what I mean by raster or pixels is that it is a software made up of several boxes which turns into an image. When you put an image down now and you start zooming into a picture, when you start zooming in, you zoom in, zoom in. You get to a moment, it start getting blurred and not quality like before. All you start seeing is little boxes, which are called pixels. So that's what Photoshop is made of. Whatever design you're doing on Photoshop, as soon as you start zooming inside, you start losing quality. So unlike other softwares like CorelDRAW, we'll talk about that one later, which is vector. But this one, we call it raster, or we call it pixel. So because of that, there are selective work we can do on Photoshop, and there are works we actually can't do on Photoshop. Although even there are some way out, but it won't be advisable to do that. So just like I said in the last class, here is the home page of Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. This is 2020 I am currently using. So this is 2020, and you can see here, you can see the menu bar up here. We have a menu bar here, which comprises of the file, edit, image, layer, type, select, filter, 3D, view, window, and help. So we have the menu bar around here. Then when we open the Photoshop, we have a taskbar that should be around somewhere here. We have taskbar around here. Then we have the toolbars somewhere, somewhere at the edge. So just like I said the other time, here in the home page comprises of, a default tutorial, thing organized by Photoshop for beginners, fix a photo, just like it says here. We have bring out colors, cool and warm images, crop and straighten an image, light and dark areas. So it's like a default tutorial. If I click on it, you see, if you're connected to the internet, just like I do, it's going to play. But we are not doing that for the sake of this class. So you can see here is what we call recent. Here in this recent, most of the works you've done in the past, you see them around here. As you can see, I actually I work on illustration here. I'm doing a photo editing here. And most other things here actually markups. Yeah. I will explain what Marcus is to you guys later. So here are the recent files that have opened. So they're going to appear here. So probably you want to open those files again. You won't have to stress yourself. You just come and click on it. So at this side, you can see this sidebar around here. All you can see is home. You can see home, right? You can see learn. You can see your work. That's Lightroom, photos, cloud documents, and deleted files. So let's forget about all this and let's get down to business. Here's a create new and the open. And just like I said last time, it's a create new is a button to create a new document. And you all know for creating new documents on several platforms, you know, for Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and so many other softwares like that, the general shortcut for it is Control N, new. So we create new, or you click on this place. You can come here, file, you see new here, you see Control N for new, and you can as well click on this place. Then we have open. Open actually stands for, you know, if you need to open an existing file, probably a file, a Photoshop document you have before, you click on this place. So for we here, or you can as well come here too. But these two buttons here are actually like they are shortcut. So just like I said last time again, you know, just like we have DOC for Microsoft document, we have PDF for, you know, all this PDF file. We have EXE for Excel, PPT for PowerPoint, and so many other stuff. That of Photoshop is called PSD, extension file. The file name is called PSD, which stands for Photoshop document. So whenever you're looking for something and you find out there's the extension name attached to it is PSD, then you know it's a Photoshop file. And Photoshop can actually open the file. So what we're going to do here now is we are going to click on the create new button. So you can click on it here. So you can see we have the create new button here, and we have what we have default document here you can actually open from. So from this document here, I just like the last class, I want to open, I can just come here and pick on, I don't want to use pixel, I want to use inches, because I use inches most of the time. And, you just pick on 10, you put 10 here, then this 72 resolution, you can actually increase it to 200. And just like I taught you guys last time, resolution actually stands for, quality of the picture. Probably when you want to print it on a large format, so it won't lose quality. So you increase the resolution. So for us, for the sake of this class, let's put the resolution on 200. So this is on 200. Let's put this on 10, and this on 10 as well. And I told you guys when the width and the height is 10, we should be expecting a square. So that's exactly what we're going to expect. We have color mode here, the grayscale, RGB, CMYK. Like these are the three major color mode. And I taught you guys last time, grayscale color mode, which is this, is actually a color mode that comprises of all shades of gray, from white to black. And some people use it for some kind of for some purposes, which we won't be utilizing in this class. Then we have the RGB. The RGB, which stands for red, green, blue. And I said RGB is actually is a color mode for design for web use. For example, you want to create a flyer for web use, you want to post on Instagram, post on Facebook, on TikTok and stuff. So you use RGB. And CMYK we have here stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, key. Key stands for black, which I said it is a color mode used basically for printing. If you need to print a design, you use CMYK. So let's get down to business. So let's leave the rest like this. You don't have to edit or touch anything here. Then we're going to create. Click on create, you see, wait, and it's create your document. So congratulations to us as we've created our first document on Photoshop. So just what I said last time, I said we have the menu bar here, we have the task bars here, and we have the toolbars around here. So the task bars is going to change, according to the way you change you can see your toolbar here. Or can we just call it function bar? Because whatever you click on around here, the function are all here. How you can toggle them, how you can edit them, how you can, change them. We have them around here. So Then we have tabs. So you can see my tabs. They are so much. So we have tabs. These tabs, just like the browser tabs, meaning you can actually be doing so many works around here. You can see I can actually click on here. You see, it's something different. If I can find here. You can see, yeah. So you can see I have different works around here, around here. So and get back to here. So it's just like your browser. That means you can actually open a new document again on this place, and you can just toggle between tabs and switch to different works, and get different works done at the same time, or get different documents open in Photoshop at the same time. So then we have the tools here, and I introduced you guys to the tools the last time. Okay, before we get down to the tool, let's introduce ourselves to the whole interface. All you see here are actually shortcut to some things. For example, we have the brushes here, brush preset. We have text here, how to edit text and characters. We have the 3D design here. We have paragraph, or maybe we want to do a publication. We have so many things here, and you can actually pick them. You can actually drag them here. When you come to Windows here, you can actually see them. There are so many of them. Whenever anyone you just feel like you want them here, you can just pick them and drag. You can drag them and keep them there. And with this view as well, we have so many of them here. This view, you can see log guide, you can see ruler, you can see extras. There are some things that you might need on your interface that are not there. You can actually come here and pick them. For example, when we say ruler, you can see ruler here. For example, now when we working with design and um, we need to measure. So this is very good in measurement. You can see from 0 to 10 inches. You can see this 10 inches, 0 here to 10 inches, meaning if you want your work to be accurate, you just follow the ruler. So then we have the toolbars here, and I explained everything here the last time I talked about this. We have something here. Why is it not clicking? What's wrong with my mouse? Oh, forgot this is not correct. So yeah, so we have the move tool here, which has the shortcut of V. Just click on V on your keyboard. So we have the move tool. And just like I said the last time, these toolbars around here, unlike the way you want to create a new document, you click on Control A, Control P, Control T, Control Z, Control B, Control A, Control F. So unlike that, here you just press the letter directly from the keyboard. For example, you want to click on move, you want to move an object, the shortcut, you just click on V. You want to use a paint bucket, you just click on G. So those are shortcuts. When you click on them, you see them. This one is M. You click, you can see L. You see, this is C. This is I. So you can see, this is J. This is B. So there are so many shortcuts around here. You can study them. When you study them and you are working frequently, you start getting used to them, that you don't even need to check them before you use them. So we have the move tool here for moving stuff around, moving objects. We have, we have rectangle tool, Nike tool. These are actually used to pick something, to pick a shape. You want to pick an object in a certain size. For example, in a rectangular size, you can use this. In sphere, circle, you can actually use this. Then we have the lasso tool. This lasso tool is actually meant for, picking objects as well, tracing an object. That's its used to. And we have object selection tool. This is also to pick object. They are all picking object, but they have different purposes. We have magic wand as well, which I use. Later you will get to understand what magic wand is used for. Then we have for crop. As you can see it's a crop. From the icon, this crop for cropping stuff. You see, as I click it, you can see stuff here. So it wants me to crop it inside. Then we have perspective crop. In a way you want to make it perspective, probably one side should be bigger than the other. We have perspective, and we have so many other slides too, and others. Then when you come here, what do you call this? Well, I don't really know much about this tool, and just like I told you the last time on our live session, that I don't know, no one knows it all on Photoshop. You only use some tool and leave some. You can't know everything unless you start exploring them. So I only make use of important ones to me, and I leave the rest. So you can actually go and make your own research yourself. So you have the eyedropper tool here, which I told you the last time, that the eyedropper tool is actually meant for picking colors, from any object, maybe from pictures or from anything. You can actually pick the color and the color code. And this is 3D material eyedropper. This is ruler tool, and so many other tools like that. This ruler tool is actually for dragging a ruler into this place, maybe um um for perfection and stuff and measurement. So then we have the healing brush tool. This healing brush tool is actually meant, majorly used for photo editing, maybe on skin and on some other plain picture. These people use the most, the photographers. Maybe you have a picture now, you have pimples on your face and you don't want it to show, or you want to eradicate them. You use all this patch, all these spot healing brushes. They remove them and replace them with a very smooth skin. And we have the red eye tool. This, changes the color of the eye. Maybe probably it's too red to white. And, it's very eye sensitive. And, we have the brush tool here. This is brush. When we talk about painting, there's no way you can talk about painting without talking about brush. Brush is actually used for painting things. So this is a brush tool. When you click on it, you can use it to brush the way you like. Let's click on it and let's pick, you can see brush. So that's it. We have the brush too. We have pencil as well. You can see pencil. You see how very light it is. Just the way pencil is light. Brush is always thicker than pencil. So that's it. When we have color replacement, mixer brush and stuff. So when you watch tutorial on YouTube, you get to understand, the functions of everything. We can't cover everything in our class. Then we have the stamp, clone stamp. This is actually to clone some part of the body, paste it on somewhere else. And we have the history brush tool. I don't really know about history. And we have the eraser here. For every brushing, every painting, every drawing, every sketching, we all need to have eraser as we draw. So whenever we make mistake, we can erase it, we can clean it up. So that's what this eraser is. And then we have the background eraser. This one remove background from pictures. Then we have gradient tool here. This for gradient, for transitioning of colors, maybe from green to lemon, from yellow to brown, those kind of color transition. We use this gradient tool for that. Then we have paint bucket tool. And just like I told you all the last time, I said, for example, I want to paint something now, and I don't want to start using the brush to paint one after the other. That will take me more time. And if you don't want to use brush to start painting your shoes, maybe you want to paint your shoes to red, you want to start using brush to paint every part of it, what you can just do is just pick paint, from the bucket and pour it directly on your shoes. So that's what the paint bucket tool is for. You see, if I click on the paint bucket tool now, I click on it, you see what's going to happen. You see what happened, right? So it's going to color easily. It's going to pour colors on everywhere. So that's the function of it. Then we have the blur tool here. I told you about blur, how we use it to blur images and objects we are working on. And sharpen, the opposite of blur is sharpen. When something is blurred, you want to sharpen it so it can be clear enough. Use this. And we have smudge as well. So here we have the dodge and burn tool. I told you about this dodge and burn. This is actually used in enhancing the darker side of picture and the brighter side of picture, so it can be more realistic. We use it in photo editing as well and photo enhancement. And we have the one of the powerful, or let's say one of the most powerful tool on Photoshop, which is the pen tool. The pen tool is actually a tool for for tracing, for removing background, for picking on stuff. When they say pen tool now, for tracing things and drawing, and so many amazing stuff. We use that. Then we have so many other tools under it which you can explore later. Then we have the type tool, or we can say the text tool. So this text tool is actually meant for, now when you see T like this, it's for text. You want to type something out, you use it. For example, when I click on this, you can see here, for example, yeah, let me open my layer, open a new document. For example, now, so you want to type on something now. Let's see if it's going to type. Okay, let's type welcome. Good. So when you type welcome here, so someone asked a question during the last class that when they type something, they can't, they don't know where to exit or where to finish. For example, when I type welcome here, for example, if I need to change the font, I can just click on what? And I highlight everything. When you highlight everything, you can come here. You're going to see Arial here. You can click on this Arial. I have so many fonts here, which I can actually pick whichever one I love and use it for the session. Let me pick on Antonio. I click on Antonio here, and you see we have Antonio, we have regular, we have light, we have bold. Let me click on bold. So when I have bold here, I am actually done with picking on my font. So when you're done, you come here. Here, what you can see here is what? Cancel. Maybe you don't want to do any text editing again, you don't want to type any text, you click on cancel here. And here you can see, yes, approve that what I've done is actually right. I am done. And here is what 3D. I actually don't use this, so let's just leave it there and click on this. Yes, we're done. So it's gone. Now that you click on this, it's done now. So what you do is while it's your layer button, while it's still on the welcome, if you want to increase it, you can actually click on what? Control T. Control T is going to give you something like this. And you can come to the edge here, then you toggle it, you drag, click and drag the node. I don't know why my laptop is slow. Why is it doing like this? Okay, let's click on. Why is this like this now? Don't do this to me. So you click on here, we're done. So while it's, you can see welcome, very bold. While you see something like this, maybe we want to shift it to the center since it's is somehow close to here. You could just click V on your keyboard, or you come here, click on the move tool. So you can see the move tool. The move tool will bring it to the center. So that's how we have it. Then let's go down to here. What button is this? Oh, part selection tool. I honestly haven't used this button before. I don't know what it is. Then we have the shape tool here. If you want to draw any kind of shape, rectangle, rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon, and so many other custom shapes, you come around here. And here we have the pan tool. This hand tool is meant for, just like I taught you guys last time. You can use it to, like, the way you drag your paper on the table when you're drawing, you use this hand tool. So then we have rotate view. If you want to rotate, you can see hand is H, rotate is R. Click on R, then you rotate your what? Your canvas, or let's say your artboard. So then we have what? We have the zoom tool. You all know what zoom is. You zoom in and out of an object. Then we have something around here, which I tried to explain to you guys the last class. So what we have here is actually colors. We have the you can see foreground color and background color. So foreground color is maybe you are working on a project now and you're using two consistent colors. So instead of you always going to the color palette to pick on colors, all you just do is just keep the two colors here, then you start interchanging them one after the other. Whenever you need to switch, you see you can actually switch back to default clicking here. If you check here, you can see white and black. It will go back to default, but we don't want to go back to default white and black. We want it like this. So we can actually even pick another color here. Let's pick on let's pick here this. So we have these two colors. So these two colors now, maybe you want to do some design now. You want to do something that maybe you want to paint using this color. You can click on B or go to click on B brush. Let's pick a new document. You can click on B. Oh, you can click on this, you can see. You can see